Welcome to the Stock Talk Learn and Earn video Q&A podcast. I'm Dave Jackson. This podcast is part of our Metals and Mining C-Suite interview series, where we help our audience and investors understand more about investment opportunities in the capital markets. There's gold in them thar hills, and in this case, it's a Vancouver-based junior explorer, and it's the hills down under where they believe they've discovered a very rare opportunity, an underexplored 1,100-acre land position with first mover advantage in the world's hottest gold exploration district. Outback Goldfields is an exploration mining company holding a package of 4 highly prospective gold projects located proximate and adjacent to the Fosterville Gold Mine in Victoria, Australia. The historic goldfields in this jurisdiction are home to some of the highest grade and lowest cost mining in the world. Outback Goldfields trades on the CSE under the symbol OZ, or for those of you south of the border, OZ. Today, we're joined by company chairman Craig Parry to discuss recent company news, what's on the horizon down under, and investment opportunities in the gold exploration sector. Thank you for joining us today, Craig.
Dave, thank you. Great to be speaking with you.
Pleasure is all ours, sir. So to start off with, Craig, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the history of Outback Goldfields?
Yeah, sure, Dave. So I'm a geologist. I'm, I suppose, a 20-year veteran in the mining business. Started out with Rio Tinto. I spent 8 years with Rio Tinto before starting the Tigers Realm group of companies, including EMR Capital, where I'm a general partner there. And out of that group of companies, we started a couple of successful companies, including Next Gen Energy. So I was a co-founder of Next Gen. We just discovered the giant Arrow deposit. And since that time, I've gone to found and lead ISO Energy, which was our spin out. We discovered the Hurricane deposit. And then, you know, a couple of years ago, we started a company called Vizsla Resources, now called Vizsla Silver. We've made some serious discoveries down at our Panuco projects in Mexico. So, you know, a purebred explorationist, if you like. We love exploration. I'm also the chairman of Skeena Resources. So a few sort of names that your listeners and viewers will know there. But Outback Goldfields, we started that a year ago. You know, probably in my portfolio of companies, the company with the most exploration risk and exploration upside potential there.
Well, Craig, can you update our investor audience and your OZ shareholders on any new company developments, especially in the wake of COVID-19?
Yes, absolutely, Dave. So look, we've had a massive 6 months. Of course, we started out with a shell called Scarb Resources, and we had a deal brought to us to give us access to those fantastic block of properties we've got down in Victoria, in the Bendigo Ballarat Goldfields. Probably now we should call it the Fosterville Goldfields as well, because you know that discovery of those high grade Fosterville zones has really transformed that district. You know, I was very keen to get involved in the area, in that district play, because for me, there was a little bit of unfinished business there. I, back in 2013-14, was the underbidder on the acquisition of Crocodile Gold. And of course, Newmarket, Doug and Blaine there at Newmarket made that acquisition successfully, discovered that high-grade zone at Fosterville, and transformed it into what I think is the best gold mine on the planet today, lowest cash cost or lowest all-in sustaining cost. A fantastic outcome. And of course, that's now the key asset within Kirkland Lake, a $10 billion gold company. So for me, unfinished business. I felt a little bit unfulfilled. So never in a million years would I think that we would get a chance to have another go at another kick of the can or a bite of the cherry. And that's what happened about 6 months ago. Some friends of mine were the major shareholders of an Aussie company called Petrotherm. Petrotherm had put together a very impressive portfolio of properties over the last 5 years. So, and then, you know, they wanted to get, they saw the success that guys like Brian Sluicerchuk were having at his Fosterville South exploration company. You know, that was at one point a $300 million market cap company. So they wanted to piggyback off Canadian market interest for projects in Victoria. So we managed to get a deal done. We brought Chris Donaldson on board as CEO. Chris was a VP of Corp Dev at Western Copper and Gold. Chris is doing a tremendous job. It's his first go at being CEO, and I'm pleased to report that he's doing a fantastic job. We raised $11 million back in November last year, and we just kicked off drilling at the first of our projects, the Glenfine project, a couple of weeks ago. So we're one hole into that program. We're drilling in and around known high-grade mineralisation, so people can expect some results coming from there fairly soon. And then, we've continued to grow from there. So, that's been it's been a sort of transformative 8 months for the company, and we now have first mover advantage inherited by our deal with Petrotherm.
Outstanding. Now, Craig, let's pivot back to that drill program underway at Fosterville. Can you give us some background info on the property and updates and, any new developments happening there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 4 properties. Yoongren is one of our most prospective properties. That's where we've just kicked off a regional geophysical surveying program and also a regional roadside RAB drilling program. We also have a number of when you explore in this district, arsenic anomalism in soils is crucial as a direct targeting technique. We've got some regionally significant arsenic anomalies on that property, so we'll be following those up. We should be drilling there in the next few months. We're drilling, as I mentioned, at Glenfine at the moment. Glenfine, has had some very strong historical hits. The mine there produced nearly 50,000 ounces at a head grade of about 16 grams per tonne. So we're following structures that host that mineralisation or that mined mineralisation. So, our expectation there would be that we'll get some very good hits early on in the program. The program's going well. I think investors can expect some news flow over the next couple of weeks on to the next few months. So that's all happening. We've got our Silver Spoon property, which sits right next door to the Fosterville mine. Fabulous location to find mineralisation. We've got a number of great targets there. But perhaps the thing I'm most excited about there, Dave, would be our Ballarat West property. And Ballarat West, we have a very large claim block that's underexplored, and it sits right next door to the Ballarat mine and a number of other major mines. So within 5 kilometres of our property boundary, that area, those mines have produced over 16 million ounces of gold. Our property, where there is outcrops, produced over 400,000 ounces of gold historically. And then to the northern part of the property, you have very shallow basalt cover that's prevented, historic exploration. We have ways now of looking under that basalt cover. We're, as I say, right next door to Ballarat. We're surrounded by mines that have produced 16 million ounces. And to my mind, based on those things, the fact that there's a major structure running through there that hosts mineralisation, known mineralisation, I think that property is possibly one of the very best places on the planet today to find a giant 5 million ounce gold deposit. So we've got to do some base level work on that property, but I'd like to see us in and exploring and drilling there in the next couple of years. So we're excited about that project as well, Dave.
Now, Craig, you recently announced commencement of an airborne geophysical survey over the project that you just spoke about at Yoongren. What can you tell us about the exploration targets there, and what do they really look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So the property there, again, the western part of the property covered by fairly shallow colluvial, alluvial, and basalt cover. So you need to drill under that or test under that. And a way of looking under that cover. So we've got that with the roadside RAB drilling, and what we're looking for there is gold and arsenic anomalism and zeroing in on drill targets that way. We're doing magnetics over the top of the property as well, and that will give us a better clue to where the structures are that host that mineralisation. So those things combined should give us a number of direct walk-up drill targets. And then out on the eastern part of the property, you've got very clear structures running through there that host mineralisation. There's been quite a bit of very high-grade production from shallow veins on that eastern part of the property. But the thing we're most excited about there is that the arsenic anomalies that have been defined by previous explorers are very, very high tenor, and they follow these host structures, or what are potentially host structures to the mineralisation. So, there we have a number of walk-up drill targets. The arsenic anomalism is regionally significant, so they're stonking great arsenic anomalies. So we've got some very, very good drill targets to test out on that side of the property as well. So fantastic property. Very, I like to talk about my key exploration criteria, which are size of the prize, cost of the test, and chance of success. Well, here the size of the prize we know is right. The district has produced over 80 million ounces of gold historically. Chance of success, we know it's an incredibly well endowed gold district, and the fact that we've got these very significant arsenic anomalies gives us a real chance of making a discovery. And then cost of the test, Victoria, very good place to explore, of course. Good access to people and drill rigs, and it's not too expensive. And we're not drilling very deep holes, to test that mineralisation. So to me, our projects tick all of those key exploration criteria boxes.
Okay, now on February 16th, not too long ago, you announced the start of diamond drilling at the aforementioned Glenfine project. Now, what are some of the program updates, Craig, at this site?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kicked off drilling. We're one hole in. I think that, assay turnaround times all around the world have slowed down in recent times, but we're probably 4 weeks away from having some assay results from that drilling. We are drilling on known mineralized structures, so the chances of getting good results, I think, early on into the program are very, very good. And we'll keep drilling there. We've got a number of targets. So I think, the plan there will be to keep drilling there for the next 6 weeks or so before we then look at what we do beyond that and moving up to Yoongrin and some of our other projects.
Okay, now, Craig, for investors, particularly Canadian, who may not be familiar with this jurisdiction, what can you tell them about the Victorian Goldfields?
Yeah, absolutely. So Victoria, of course, one of the world's great gold producing districts, discovered back in the 1850s, 60s. It produced 80 million ounces, the bulk of which it did to World War I. And then, the mineralization started getting deeper. Water ingress became a problem at all of those mining operations. And really, we saw a hiatus to a large extent of exploration and production from about 1920 all the way until recently. And it wasn't, they've been producing mines there from these sort of saddle reef and deep lead type deposits. Mm-hmm. But in recent years, the discovery of this structurally controlled epizonal mineralization at Fosterville Mine has really transformed people's view of the district. It looks like these things, firstly, they haven't been broadly explored for and widely recognised. So we now know that they can be very large, incredibly high-grade deposits. And so it's really opened the entire district up for a recut of exploration for that style of mineralisation. So it's a very exciting time for the district. We've seen, new money invested with a lot of money, coming from guys like Kirkland Lake, Fosterville South, now ourselves having raised $11 million, sets us up very well to get in and test these great targets we've got. So there's been an influx of exploration, and the value of those properties has gone up dramatically. The thing that sets us apart here is the fact that we've inherited that first mover advantage, and we've got some of the best properties in the district by doing a deal with Petrotherm that gets us ground that was acquired 5 years ago.
Okay, for company shareholders and potential investors, what kind of future development partnerships and progress reports can we expect? And what are the 4 key assets in this region?
Yeah, so look, we've got a fantastic property package there now. We are looking at a number of other acquisitions and potential earn-in type deals. However, at this point in time, we really are, we have an outstanding suite of properties and plenty of work to do on those properties. So whilst we'll keep looking at, deals that are reasonably priced and workable, our main focus right now is just to stick to our knitting and continue to test all of these projects and properties that we've got.
Well, it's been an up and down year for your stock price. What can you tell our investor audience regarding the current valuation of it and why you still think it's a good value buy right now, Craig?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think our market cap today is about, where are we today, Dave? I think about $45 million. You compare that to some of the other explorers in the district. You know, Fosterville South, probably the most well-known. Market cap north of $100 million today. I think we've got ground that's every bit as good as Brian and Fosterville South's. They've done a fantastic job, of course, you know, of putting together their projects. But I think that's where we head over the next little while as we get the story out about what we're doing here. And certainly, if any of our drilling results in the discovery, of course, we're off to the races. It will be transformative for the company and its share price. So, you know, I think Chris is doing a very good job as CEO of getting the message out there as well. It's a crucial time for an exploration company, of course. Our first maiden drill program, I think, you know, based on what I've seen there, the fact that we're drilling in and around known high-grade mineralisation, the chances of us getting good results and seeing our share price really travel very well over the next few months is very, very strong.
Excellent. Now, Craig, can you discuss the long-term strategy for the company moving into 2021 and beyond, and what retail, institutional, and private equity investors should be looking out for?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a very simple strategy again, sticking to our knitting, continuing to explore those properties we've got. You know, our projects range from advanced stage exploration where we're drilling on known mineralised structures all the way back to more greenfields exploration on that Ballarat West property where, you know, no work to penetrate that shallow basalt cover has ever been done historically. So, you know, we've got all of those things in train, progressing each of those projects up the pipeline.
Well, finally, Craig, if there's anything that I've overlooked, please feel free to elaborate.
No, look, that covers pretty much everything, Dave. I think, you know, we're cashed up. We've got, having raised $11 million late last year, we've got a drill rig on the ground now. The team's doing a fantastic job. So I think, you know, it's a great time for people to look seriously at investing in the company. Our share price has come off a little bit as well. So that would, I think, provide a very neat entry point for investors.
Well, thanks for joining us today at Stockhouse. Craig, be well and stay safe. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Dave.
We have been speaking with Craig Parry. He is the chairman of Outback Goldfields Corp. I'd like once again to thank Craig for joining us, sharing this insightful and helpful information about his company with our Stockhouse video podcast audience and investors. And as always, investors are reminded to do their own due diligence before making any investment decision. I'm Dave Jackson for Stockhouse Media and the Stock Talk video podcast. Thanks for watching.